Well, I hear you loud and clear on this side. I haven't heard Larry or anybody say anything.
Good evening and welcome to the Cabarrus County Board of Education's Monday night business meeting for December the 14th of 2020. We have already called the meeting to order. The board met in closed session prior to this meeting, so at this point in time I will take a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion by Ms. Blackwell and a second by Mr. Furr. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the the personnel recommendations for tonight, Monday, December the 14th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Blackwell and a second by Mr. Furr. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Now I need a motion to approve the closed session minutes for November the 16th of 2020,
So moved.
and also to keep them confidential.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Blackwell and a second by Ms. Adcock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And we will begin tonight's meeting with recognitions. We will start with 6.01, the Hilbish Ford Teacher of the Month. And I think Dr. Louder is going to take over.
Yeah, I think Miss Boone actually is going to come in and do the recognitions, and here she is.
Welcome, Ms. Boone. And before you get started, while you're getting settled, I'll just say a shout out and a thank you to Deputy Brian Hines, who is here with us tonight from Mount Pleasant Elementary School. Thank you for being with us at this meeting. Thanks.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and to our viewers at home. It is my pleasure to announce the Hilbish Ford Teacher of the Month. I want to say thank you to Mr. Tim Vaughn and Hilbish Ford for their continued sponsorship of this wonderful recognition program. Our Hilbish Ford Teacher of the Month for December is Mr. Keith Milletta. Mr. Milletta is an English teacher at Central Cabarrus High School. He was nominated for this award by a parent who wrote, Mr. Milletta has been a fixture at Central Cabarrus for many years, working with hundreds of students. Even though he has been teaching for a long time, he still makes his lessons relevant and innovative for his students. He has created an environment for learning where high school students want to come and learn, which is saying a lot for that age and given this day and time. All of his assignments allow students to be 21st century thinkers while learning and practicing language arts concepts. My daughter comes home every day telling me all about her English class and the cool things that they are doing. I am so appreciative that someone has given my freshman in 2020 a reason to love school and encourages her to continue her love for learning. It was obvious during the first week of remote learning that he truly believed in building relationships with his students and wanted to get to know each one personally. From there, the mutual respect and hard work continue on a daily basis. Our county needs more teachers like Mr. Milletta. Mr. Milletta, thank you for the creativity and innovation you bring to your classroom, whether it is remote or in person, and for creating an environment where you are able to connect with your students, engaging their minds, encouraging them to think, and helping them learn. Congratulations on your selection as our December Hilbish 4 Teacher of the Month.
We will say congratulations to Mr. Milletta and thank you for all that you do. And I am assuming that we are going to keep you for 6.02,
Yes, ma'am.
Teacher Assistant of the Year.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
The Cabarrus County Schools Teacher Assistant of the Year program honors the contributions of pre-kindergarten through 12th grade teacher assistants to their schools, communities, and profession. The Cabarrus County Schools Teacher Assistant of the Year must meet the following eligibility requirements. The Teacher Assistant of the Year must be employed as a teacher assistant for a minimum of 3 years with Cabarrus County Schools prior to the nomination. The Teacher Assistant of the Year agrees to participate in an interview, submit an essay, and submit a letter of recommendation from their classroom teacher. We are here this evening to celebrate and recognize our Teacher Assistants of the Year and our District Teacher Assistant of the Year. We will begin with our school honorees first. And I'll just list them, and you can hold your applause till the end, please. A.T. Allen Elementary School, Lynn Robinson. Beverly Hills STEM Elementary School, Lori Holland. Carl A. Fur Elementary School, Maria Faith Cap. Central Cabarrus High School, Rhonda Frazier. Cochran Webb Elementary School, Kara Haberecker. Concord High School, Jason Stowe. Cox Mill Elementary School, Kristen Perkins. Cox Mill High School, Moses Smith. Harold E. Winkler Middle School, Marilyn Kirby. Harrisburg Elementary School, Amanda Smith. Hickory Ridge Elementary School, Deidre Wishon. Hickory Ridge High School, Mary Metz. J.M. Robinson High School, Deborah Cook. J.N. Fries Middle School, Christy Bumgardner. Patriot STEM Elementary School, Kristen Lorenz. Pitt School Road Elementary School, Mary Fandel. R. Brown McAllister Elementary School, Johanna Strubuk. Rocky River Elementary School, Claudia Kenzierski. W.R. Odell Primary School, Sharon James. Weddington Hills Elementary School, Lane Dunker. Weinkauf Elementary School, Patty Moore. W.M. Irvin Elementary School, Tony Yao. Harris Road Middle School, Danny Avelinet. Mount Pleasant Elementary School, Chelsea LeMasters. Mount Pleasant Middle School, Kelly Templeton. West Cabarrus High School, Tanine Anderson. And Wolf Meadow Elementary School, Michelle Johnson. And now for our District Teacher Assistant of the Year. We want to say congratulations to Crystal Brown, who is a teacher assistant at Charles E. Boger Elementary School. She's been named the 2020-2021 District Teacher Assistant of the Year. Ms. Brown has served as a teacher assistant in Cabarrus County Schools since 2006. She began her tenure at Weinkauf Elementary School prior to transferring to Charles E. Boger Elementary in 2018. In her current role, Ms. Brown works with exceptional children and loves her work. She finds ways to help her students feel successful and helps them to believe in themselves. According to Angela Collette, the teacher with whom Ms. Brown works closely, Ms. Brown builds relationships that last far beyond the time students spend in our class. Students look forward to seeing her and working with her every day. She sets high expectations for them and holds them accountable, all while supporting and teaching them to reach those expectations. According to Principal Seaford, Her continued dedication and support to our exceptional children classroom is greatly appreciated. We are so excited for her. Congratulations once again to Ms. Brown, who's our District Teacher Assistant of the Year, and to all of our Teacher Assistants of the Year.
And we will just say congratulations to all those as well. And then I'm assuming we still keep you for 6.03, the Impact Through Education Awards.
Yes, ma'am. Tonight, we will present Impact Through Education Awards to students and staff at two of our newest schools, Hickory Ridge Elementary School and West Cabarrus High School. Excuse me. The Impact Awards are made possible by Equitable, formerly AXA Advisors, and Concord Trophy prints our plaques each month. And we are grateful to each of these organizations for their support and say thank you to both of them. We will work with the principals of tonight's featured schools to ensure that their honorees receive their plaques. So now on to tonight's awards. First up is Hickory Ridge Elementary School, and our first honoree from Hickory Ridge Elementary is Bailey Pham. Bailey is a third grader at Hickory Ridge Elementary and a fantastic student. She's always doing the right thing and works hard to complete her classwork. She's kind and compassionate and is a helper in the physical classroom as well as in the online classroom. Bailey is determined and doesn't let anything stand in her way of achieving anything that she wants to achieve. She's going to go places and do big things in the future. Congratulations, Bailey, on your Impact Through Education Award. Our second honoree from Hickory Ridge Elementary is Oria Sue. Oria is a second grade student at Hickory Ridge Elementary School. She goes above and beyond in the classroom. As a student who has been participating in remote learning, she always finds many ways to make her seesaw assignments and videos as creative as can be. She follows classroom rules and understands what a growth mindset is. Oria is a very bright young lady that will go on to do amazing things. She constantly takes her learning opportunities a step higher to see what other ways she can apply them. She's quick to correct her mistakes and shows responsibility for her own actions. We congratulate Oria on her Impact Through Education Award. Our next honoree is Paige Poston. Paige is a vital member of the first grade team and whole staff at Hickory Ridge Elementary School. She is inclusive in the planning and delivery of instruction. Her team members describe her as an extraordinary grade level leader. She sees the big picture to plan ahead and is able to manage a variety of projects at one time. She has the ability to think of an idea, ask for feedback, and execute a plan quicker than you could ever imagine. Even though situations like this can throw many a curveball, she maintains a positive outlook and will revise and edit and just keep rolling. Hickory Ridge administrators say they are glad to have someone like Ms. Poston on the team, someone who always puts kids first. Congratulations, Ms. Poston, on your Impact Through Education Award. And our final honoree from Hickory Ridge Elementary School is Abby Manning. As the front office secretary of a brand new school, Abby Manning does a great job of welcoming students, families, staff, and visitors. She's always willing to lend a helpful hand to help others. She's constantly checking to make sure that everything is running smoothly for the entire school. Every day, Ms. Manning keeps the school administrators and staff on track and focused with important announcements and safety protocols. She also is skilled at keeping up with all of the master schedules. Ms. Manning makes a great impression for the school, and Hickory Ridge Elementary is glad to have her. Congratulations on receiving this Impact Through Education Award, Ms. Manning. Now we'll move on to our honorees from West Cabarrus High School. Our first honoree from West Cabarrus is Kimura Davila, and we don't have a photo of Kimura. But Kimura was nominated by her AP US History teacher, Nadine Dunn. Mrs. Dunn wrote, "She is incredibly dedicated to her studies, and her inquisitiveness makes teaching fun. She's also on her own the one day I see her in person for AP. She's a great conversationalist. The West Cabarrus administrators commend Kimura for her persistence and commitment to excellence and acknowledge her willingness to maximize her education and be a leader. West Cabarrus is proud to have her represent the Wolverines. Congratulations on receiving this Impact Through Education Award, Kimura. Our next student honoree from West Cabarrus High School is Grace Morgan. Grace was nominated by her art teacher, Meredith Farrell. Mrs. Farrell says, Grace has gone above and beyond in class. She completes all of her assignments and is actively engaged in every single class. Grace always displays a positive attitude and is the first to offer encouraging feedback to her classmates. She works hard to complete her work in the best way she can by always asking questions and listening to feedback. Grace is a joy to have in class. Grace, you are a model West Cabarrus Wolverine. Congratulations on receiving this Impact Through Education Award. Our next honoree is Mrs. Gay Kroll. Gay Kroll is an asset to West Cabarrus High School in many ways. Mrs. Kroll's love for reading and learning spreads throughout the school. She constantly researches new ideas and strategies to help teachers in their classrooms. Mrs. Kroll is kind and always willing to lend a helping hand to everyone. She serves on the West Cabarrus leadership team, school improvement team, professional development committee, and is a liaison to classroom teachers. She has created an inviting learning hub in the Wolverine Media Center. She exudes a genuine passion for the power of reading in all that she does. She is a team player who supports West Cabarrus on all fronts. West Cabarrus is fortunate to have her on staff. Mrs. Kroll, congratulations on receiving your Impact Through Education Award. And our final honoree from West Cabarrus High School this evening is Tracy Candidate. Tracy Candidate has provided significant support behind the scenes with master scheduling, power school training, gradebook and attendance support, as well as a great sense of humor and positivity. She does her job well and still finds time to assist teachers and staff whenever asked. Ms. Candidate joined West Cabarrus during the planning year and was instrumental in facilitating registration at the various feeder schools, creating student schedules, and supporting anything else that was needed. She is readily available when needed to provide critical data for student services, the MTSS coach, and administration. West Cabarrus is fortunate to have Mrs. Candidate as a part of the Wolverine team. Congratulations, Mrs. Candidate, on your Impact Through Education Award.
And thank you, Mrs. Boone. We appreciate that. We'd like to say congratulations to all those once again and to truly say thank you for students and staff that make Cabarrus County Schools the great place it is. So next, board members, we are going to move on to the approval of minutes, which is your item number 7.01. And we have November the 9th of 2020 work session, November the 16th of 2020 business meeting, and the November the 24th, 2020 called meeting. Are there any noted corrections or questions? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve all of those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Blackwell and a second by Mr. Walter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. So now we will move on to item number 8, which starts with comments. And first of all, I would just like to say a huge thank you to Dr. Louder and Mr. Schultz and the board members that were available at the last minute over the weekend to offer some suggestions and answer questions on the task force that we discussed at the last meeting. It's been overwhelming, the number of emails and messages that we've received from the community and from teachers and staff and parents that were very supportive. And I hate to read from this, but it's such a new issue. I want to make sure I cover everything totally and completely. So Dr. Louder, Mr. Schultz, Vice Chair Furr, and I have worked together to establish a representative task force with the goal of creating an emergency COVID-19 pandemic plan for the 2020-2021 school year. The plan will include the following: metrics for decision making, recommendations for in-person students groups during plans A, B, and C, strategies for staff coverage, and considerations for transition periods between plan changes. I will be sending out invitations. We have actually established some lists, and we appreciate all those that have offered to serve, where we will establish our working norms with the group and review the components of the plan. The task force meetings will be facilitated with the support of Mr. Schultz as we work collaboratively throughout the process of creating a plan. This is something that we are all very excited about. I think the board shares those sentiments as well. The community definitely seems to support it, and we're looking forward to working on it. And as the details move forward, we will actually share that with the community. There are 2 questions that we had regarding the podcast that I did last week, and I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Louder to clarify.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, want to thank Ms. Grimsley and Mr. Furr, also Mr. Schultz at meeting and trying to kind of clarify all the things around the task force. That was a good meeting. I think we moved forward in that, so appreciate everybody's work on that. 2 of the questions that have come up repeatedly and that Ms. Grimsley kind of pointed to, we just wanted to clarify for everybody before I give it back to her for the rest of the comments, and that is that under the current governor's order, the only group that can be in A is elementary school. So pre-K through 5 can be in A face-to-face. It is not allowed at this point for middle or high school students to be in anything but B. That is all that is allowed for middle and high school students. So there does seem to be some misunderstanding around that, so we wanted to try to clarify that if possible, to say regardless of what decision the school system comes up with, A is only an option for elementary school at this time. It is not an option for middle and high school. The other question that's come up a little bit that we just wanted to clarify is, again, I've said we have our teachers in Cabarrus County are teaching students in person and they're teaching students remotely. So sometimes they have 10 people at home and 10 people face-to-face when we're in B. And so the logical question came up if when we were talking about how this could be a burden on staff, that, or on teachers in particular, was, well, if teachers are just quarantined, if they're not positive, then why can't they just keep on teaching? And so we did want to clarify for everybody is that is exactly what they're doing. So when a teacher is quarantined, so if I'm in the classroom, I'm teaching, again, my 10 students at home, 10 students face-to-face, and then I find out today that I'm going to be quarantined for the next 14 days, then the teacher is now at home because they can't be with students face-to-face because they're quarantined, but they're still teaching from their computers at home, okay? But what it does do is provide actually a little bit more of a burden. So it takes one person to be able to teach that, the teacher teaching face-to-face and in person. But when I'm quarantined, now I have to have another staff member to supervise the students that are there in person, okay? So those 10 students that are sitting in front of me now, even though I'm not teaching them, I'm working on my computer, somebody has to be there to make sure that they're safe and that they don't have a problem. So when a teacher is teaching from home in quarantine, it actually takes 2 staff members, them teaching at home, and also somebody else at the school to supervise the students face-to-face. And I think that that's been misunderstood some. So we want to make sure that people in the public understand that teachers in quarantine are teaching, but sometimes it actually forces us to use more adults than it would have otherwise because somebody has to supervise them face-to-face. So I hope those 2 issues are clarified a little bit more, Ms. Grimsley.
Thank you, Dr. Louder. And actually, I think there were a lot of questions about why did that happen so quickly, and after, we went right back to right after a board meeting that had just taken place. But there were quite a few things that took place on that Tuesday and that Wednesday that presented that problem, and therefore we did need to react, and now we all know how that went forward. But actually, we feel we're going to come up with some really good objectives for this goal moving forward with this task force, and I really do appreciate all the feedback and all the comments, good, bad, or indifferent. We have to look at them all, and I just want to say thank you, and the board members I know appreciated that as well, and all that they got to hear over the weekend of how that had kind of taken a very quick shape. So with that, I will move on unless you have something else, Dr. Louder.
Yeah, I do have some other comments.
You go right ahead.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. So as you know, we returned to remote learning today due to the significant community spread and also staff coverage, as we just mentioned. For Cabarrus County, students will remain in Plan C until the end of first semester in mid-January. We expect now to return to Plan B for in-person learning on January the 19th. Last week, we announced the graduation dates and times for the class of 2021. We are excited to return to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. They are fantastic community partners and are committed to helping us make this a meaningful and memorable experience for our graduates and their families. I do want to mention that we have received some questions about the reason for the date change. The date changes for graduation were announced before the legislature made some changes in the calendar and brought us back to school earlier. So while we did have some dates set for the arena, and the arena has also been a tremendous partner for us to work with, but either the arena or the speedway, the dates were not going to match up because our original dates are actually moved up a week. So the reason we had to make that change was to make sure that the speedway could accommodate the dates. So again, we appreciate the speedway's willingness to do that. We had a great ceremony last year that people were very happy with, and not knowing exactly what the situation is going to be when we get to May, we decided to partner with them again, and we certainly appreciate that and look forward to a great graduation. The complete schedule for graduation is available on our district website, so you can see all of our individual high schools. I want to make sure that parents and students are aware that we have modified our attendance guidelines. The guidelines are posted on the district website as well as school websites. The new guidelines are effective January 4th for our early college students and January 19th for traditional schools. So in essence, when second semester begins, the new attendance guidelines will begin then too. Commitment forms for the third quarter are also available on school websites. All students who were learning in Plan C during second quarter, with the exception of preschool and virtual academy, are required to complete the third quarter commitment form to let us know which option you're planning on choosing for third quarter. Providing us with your intentions helps us plan for transportation and class sizes. If you have any questions about that, please contact your school and they'll help you navigate those choices. Information about our high school end of course tests and CTE final exams is also available on the district website. High school students are required by state and federal guidelines to take end of course and CTE post assessments in person. The information we've shared provides parents and students with exam dates and times, as well as information about makeup opportunities for each of the early colleges and our traditional high schools. I want to say congratulations to the winners of our 10th annual holiday e-card contest. We announced the winners on Friday, and we will formally recognize them at next month's business meeting. They are, and we have two different categories. For the traditional design category, Hansika Balanaranan from Cox Mill Elementary School, Aubrey Jones from J. and Fries Middle School, and Sophia Muller from West Cabarrus High School were the traditional category winners. And for the digital design category, Addison Campbell from Pitt School Road Elementary School, Lilia Davis from Harris Road Middle School, and Harrison Bargett from J.M. Robinson High School were the winners. So we want to say congratulations to all 6 of them. Earlier, we recognized Crystal Brown as our Teacher Assistant of the Year during the meeting. Congratulations are also in order for Cynthia Moore, who is the Exceptional Children Resource Teacher at Patriot STEM Elementary School. She was selected as the EC Educator of Excellence for Cabarrus County Schools. And CTE Director Rusty Parker, who has been selected as one of 24 participants in the Association for Career and Technical Education 2021 National Leadership Fellowship Program. The fellowship program, which is a one-year commitment that begins next month, identifies, trains, and motivates a cadre of leaders who will continue to advance efforts which support an educated, prepared, adaptable, and competitive workforce. Just a few reminders about upcoming dates. The public is invited to attend a public information session about middle school realignment on Thursday, December 17th at 6:30. This is the second public information session. This meeting will be held via Zoom. Visit our district website and select the student realignment icon on the right side of your screen to access that meeting link. Applications for program choice for 21-22 close at midnight on Friday, December 18th. To learn more about that, visit the district website, #program choice. And I don't think anyone forget about this, but winter break for students is December 21st through January the 1st, and classes resume January 4th. I want to wish everyone a happy, safe, and restful winter break and holiday season. Please continue to follow the 3 W's, wear a mask, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands frequently. And also remember to limit your contact with people as much as possible that you do not live with. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Louder. And actually, at this point in time, I'd like to give each board member an opportunity to make a statement or a comment. I know a lot of information was discussed about the task force, and I I gave you an idea that that would happen tonight, so if there's anything that you'd like to say or to add, I'd just like to let you have that moment tonight and to actually add it to our record and make sure that your thoughts and wishes are considered as well. I'm going to start with Ms. Adcock.
Thank you, Ms. Grimsley. I just wanted to say to the public that my intentions have not changed, that I really want to work hard to get our kids back in school, and now that we have this task force, I think that we can come up with a strategy that is going to help us to look at what the challenges and the obstacles are and to make that a reality. I would just like to say as well that I am thankful for our board and for the decisions that we have to make. They are hard at times, but I believe that we are getting off on a good foot and that there's going to be very positive things to come from this task force.
Thank you. Mr. Furr?
Yes, I was glad to hear Dr. Louder talked about the desire to come back January the 19th and but it's going to be the goal of this task force and everyone in this building to get the kids back at A as soon as possible. And we're not going to give up until it gets done. And just hang in there. We're getting closer.
Ms. Sandage?
Just a question about the task force. Has there been any discussion about how the board will be notified about what the task force is doing, who's on the task force, and pretty much what their agenda is going forward? And then I also wanted to take a page out of Denise's book. I just really want the public to know that we are all here and we all have our community and our children and all of our staff's best interests at heart. And I hope that folks understand that and know that the decisions that we make them because we have to and because we signed up to make sure that everyone is safe. So that's all I have.
Thank you, and I will answer your first question very quickly. There will be minutes kept at each one of these meetings, and they will be provided to the board, absolutely. Mr. Walter?
So are you going to define metrics with this task force? Is that what the goal is?
Well, that's the discussion that will take place, absolutely.
But ultimately, it's got to come back to the board anyway, right?
Absolutely, there's no.
So it's essentially a recommendation?
Right. This task force will be to come up with objectives and recommendations for the board. The board always is the one that takes action.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing some metrics on what to move from one phase to the different phases. But
Sounds good. And if you have input for that to initiate that conversation, please submit them to me and we will add them to the discussion.
okay.
Thank you. Ms. Blackwell?
So I'm just going to echo the sentiment of everyone else, which is I'm excited for what this task force, I hope, will bring some good metrics, some good ideas, maybe some things that are outside of the box from, the things that we've talked about in the past. I, like all of you, am disappointed. I think that we have to be at this place right now, but I'm looking forward to getting the K through 5 back in Plan A, and I'm hopeful that we can do that in this next year. So I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happier 2021, hopefully. That's all.
Thank you, and I would just like to add last that we do understand and get it that parents have been truly impacted with the decisions that are made back and forth, and we do understand that. Teachers have been impacted, I think, until last Tuesday and Wednesday happened. I wasn't even real sure how that all could snowstorm at a very short period of time. And it will be a huge benefit for us to have stakeholders at the table that will be able to give us lots of recommendations and feedback on what that looks like sometimes on the other side. So I'm actually looking forward to it. The other statement I'd like to make is we have received quite a bit of feedback on the realignment process, so just know that we are getting your emails. They are being sent to the appropriate people, and that information will be added to that committee, and we just want to make sure that you understand that. At this point in time, we're going to move to...
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Carolyn, I did forget you. Ms. Carpenter, I absolutely did. Ms. Carpenter is with us remotely, virtually, teleconference, however you want to state that. I'm sorry, you go right ahead.
Yes, and that's what I want to comment on. I feel like that we need to we have got our children virtually now, and when we were in Plan C the last time, our board went virtual until we could go back to B. We went virtual because we wanted to stop the community spread, and I feel like we need to be setting an example. Our Board of Commissioners, they've been virtual, and I think that we need to follow suit with that, and that's why I am not there tonight. For Thanksgiving, I didn't go anywhere. Me and my husband sit home and we ate turkey by ourselves. I'm trying to follow that, doing the 3 W's and trying to do everything I can do. So I think we need to set examples. Again, we're trying to stop this and trying to do the things we need to be doing. So I really feel like our board needs to follow suit with that by doing virtual meetings until we go back. So I think we need to set examples.
Thank you for your
so
comments, Ms.
again-
Carpenter, and I do understand that. I'll just stop you right there to say we are definitely, for the most of you that maybe cannot see the complete room, every board member here is fully masked. We are social distance. We are adhering to the governor's rules and recommendations for how we conduct meetings. We are doing what we need to do, and I think we need to discuss that. Board members, you can email me and let me know your thoughts. We appreciate your position on needing to do what you need to do, and there's not a board member in here that doesn't understand that. I think it's going to be each individual board member's decision if they would like to come in person or remain virtual, and then we can figure that out from there. So I will send that out to the board to let them make that decision, and we'll figure it out for January's meeting. But at this point in time, we understand your position, and I thank you for those comments.
Well, we've all seen all over the place, everybody talking how people don't wear their mask correct, how they have difficulty talking with their mask. So this way we don't have to worry about that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I apologize for not announcing to the general public that you are with us, okay? So now, board members, we're going to move on to number 9, which is guest speakers. In accordance with Board Policy 2310, part of each business meeting will be set aside for citizens to address the board through public comment. Each speaker will receive 3 minutes to present their comments, and I believe we have 2.
It's actually
Only one?
just
One, okay. Thank you, Mindy. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and if you will just give us your name, we would appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Barbie. You may start now, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay. I heard outside that you're starting this task force. I think it's great. You're thinking outside the box, and it's about time. My second comment is last week, Ms. Adcock and Mr. Furr mentioned they went to schools, and you saw what was happening. I think you need to go to some virtual classes. I am at home with my grandson who is autistic. It's very tough virtual for an autistic child. And I think you should look at some autistic or classes for EC, elementary, high school, and middle school, and see the good and bad of your virtual learning. I'm very concerned about the figures Ms. Blackwell brought out last week, and from that, it would appear that maybe virtual learning is not working for everybody. And I know it's very concerning and it's hard times, but we need to look at something else, especially for our EC children. And I appreciate it and thank you much.
Thank you, and thank you for your comments tonight. Okay, board members, we will now move on to item number 10, which is the approval of the consent agenda. You have the list before you. With that being said, may I have a motion that the December 7th, 2020 consent agenda be approved as presented?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Sandage and a second by Ms. Blackwell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. And now we will move on to policies on second reading, and I'm going to pretty much do the same thing that I did last meeting. This is under our action agenda items, and I'm sorry. Let's move on to number 11. This is 11.01, which is going to be the approval of the policy 4151 program choice expectations and continuation, and we will have Deputy Superintendent Brian Schultz back if there were any additional questions or comments.
Okay.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Louder. Policy 4154, we did have one question from a board member. Rob, do you want me to say it, or you want to go ahead?
My point was, the board gets information every year. Here we have a scratch out of some information that we got previously. Why would we take that away? And then you have an explanation for that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thanks for that question. So we crossed out in 4C the proportion of students that did not meet the program expectations. Basically, it's a report to the board annually. The proportions of students who did not meet program expectations, including the number of students provided academic intervention and the number of students that left the program by grade level. So we crossed out including the number of those students provided academic intervention. So there's actually a state statute, and then we developed a board policy off of that. And that board policy is 3405, students at risk of academic failure. So in two portions of that board policy, it discusses about the principal or the designee that ensures that students at risk are identified, and the school improvement team develops a plan to include successful transition between grade spans for each student in compliance. And then under A of that policy, it talks about how school administrators and teachers shall address the needs of students identified at risk of failure through the supports available in the MTSS and or other processes established by the superintendent. Parents or guardians are included in that. There's oral and written communication, and there's the implementation and review of academic and or behavioral interventions for students. So it felt like that portion was a little redundant to put it in there as part of that, because that is something that schools are already by statute and by policy mandated and required to do. Back when the program choice was put into place, I reviewed those numbers with you a couple of weeks, or actually last week. We started with 1,300 students in choice. Now we're at 13,000. So we felt like that combined, the number of students actually, and then combined with the state statutory requirement for every principal in every school to have these plans in place, we just felt like that was just layering on the information and the requirements.
You're going to cross-reference?
Yeah, and so we did, actually, we're able to upload that based on that feedback. Mr. Walter, we did cross-reference policy 3405 at the bottom. So that should be in the updated version online.
And I appreciate you addressing my concerns.
Yes, sir, thank you.
I'm sorry, it's just a bad habit. So may I have a motion that the policy 4154, program choice expectations and continuation, be approved as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion, may I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Walter and a second by Ms. Blackwell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
Thank you very much.
Next, we will move to items under number 12, which is discussion. And the first is the board retreat, and I think board members, you've had an opportunity to look that was actually scheduled for, which is called our annual planning session, on Saturday, January the 23rd. Did anyone have any type of conflict or issue that we need to do anything differently? Okay, so we will keep that date. The committee meetings handout, I made some changes and had some feedback, and actually Mr. Walter just asked for a change just before the meeting started, so I will update that and get that out to y'all just as quickly as I can. The ethics training discussion, Mr. Shaw, I'm not sure exactly what that was, the discussion was regarding the ethics training. I'm assuming everybody has completed, and that is okay now. We are all in good status.
Don't the new board members have to do that training?
They do it at their school board one-on-one or
One-
core, what's considered core now. So I think everyone is taken care of, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this is Brian Shaw. I don't know particularly why that was included in the title, but certainly board members have to get ethics training, new board members have to get their training within 1 year.
Great.
of their appointment.
I am assuming that has all been handled. And for you, the new ones, have you been contacted regarding the date that will be scheduled? Or that it's actually an online, so you will be given a window of time that you can go in and actually do it yourself? Okay, so I will ask Mindy to get that out to both of you. Tim, I'm sure you probably know exactly. But that is now, since it's online, you can pretty much do it in a certain window of time, that you can accommodate your schedules with. Okay, and I'll make sure that she gets that time frame out to you in the link. Okay, with that being said, I am assuming that we have taken care of our consent agenda and all our discussion items. We would like to say thank you for the general public being a part of our meeting tonight. And if may, have call for a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Furr and a second by Ms. Blackwell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
45 minutes, pretty good.
Opposed? Thank you. And with that, we will say good night to our viewing audience and have a Merry Christmas and some good family time. We will see you in the new year. Thank you.